When it seems like every current fembot is destined to suffer from excessive backpack kibble and ugly, unflattering designs, one busty blacksmith baddie rises to challenge this destiny. So today, we're taking a look at the new Age of the Primes Solus Prime. But is she truly the new queen of fembots, or simply unfit for the throne? Welcome back to the show, it's Gay for May. As my piglets know, I love fembots. Almost as much as I love my sister. But I'm also highly critical of their representation in plastic form. My dark woke opinion is that recent fembots are inconsistent and middling, with a noticeable decline in their femininity. This perspective has sparked some debate amongst the fandom in the past, but thankfully, Transformers has the most open-minded and tolerant community in the world. So how does Solus Prime stack up to previous fembots? Well, we're already off to an interesting start with her vehicle mode. A small purple truck with an exaggerated front end, a squat, low-profile silhouette, and golden trimmings. This is such an inspired choice of vehicle mode. Most fembots either turn into awkwardly shaped cars or get pigeonholed into specific archetypes, like motorcycles. Frankly, they've been getting stiffed creatively, and the only one who should be getting stiff around here is me. Solus breaking this cycle by transforming into a unique vehicle is a very commendable decision, but I do find the overall look of the truck to be a little strange. The vehicle's body tapers off and ultimately disappears toward the rear, leaving her enormous wheels and folded robot mode legs exposed. In terms of vehicle design, it's quite immodest. Wow, Gay for Me is such a misogynist, he even body shames fembots in vehicle mode. After some digging, I found designer Mark Mayer's original SketchUp of Solus Prime, showing her truck mode with body panels covering its entire length. Integrating fembots into bigger vehicles can be difficult, so shaving panels from Solus Prime's alternate mode was probably meant to avoid having a bunch of bulky kibble dangling off her sexy robot body later, which is of course the second most common complaint about fembots. Though as a consequence, omitting parts of the truck does make Solus Prime's vehicle mode a little structurally unsound. The only thing keeping this vehicle in shape is a pair of flaps that kind of lock everything into place, but they won't hold if her hips aren't perfectly straight. This also means her wheelbase can get misaligned, causing the truck to rock and wobble around. Damn, insecure and unstable? She sounds a lot like my ex-girlfriend. Given the entirety of this figure in context, and considering the challenges of engineering fembots in general, sacrificing the cohesion of the vehicle mode to maintain Solus Prime's slim feminine body might have been the right choice. I don't like the idea of crippling her distinct vehicle mode, but if the robot mode makes up for this concession, we could turn this compromise into a penis rise. Solus Prime's robot mode is based on her appearance in the Power of the Primes animated series. An exciting callback for the tens of people who actually bothered to watch that. I'm not one of them. She looks dignified and majestic, pairing elaborate shoulder pads with a long flowing skirt. This figure's rich purple base color affirms her regal presentation, and these gilded glowing adornments elevate the design to an appropriate level of extravagance. Solus Prime is the definition of Cybertronian royalty. Contrary to this queenly interpretation, Solus be looking kinda beefy too, with wide shoulders and robust, almost muscular arms and legs. I can already imagine Transformers Twitter accusing me of being a J.K. Rowling supporter for simply pointing this out. However, a brawnier build actually complements her laborious occupation as a blacksmith. Solus Prime's noble countenance and strapping physicality blend together to help her exude a sense of power and strength, capabilities necessary to forge the kind of legendary weapons she is known for creating. Overall, I think the figure takes these seemingly contrasting aspects of her character and strikes a good balance between them. This figure is also not afraid to express Solus Prime's sexuality either. She's got a nice tapered waist, a cute kissable face, and long flowing locks for some reason. That's kind of weird. But more importantly, Solus has two big, prominent robot boobies, very reminiscent of the classic fembot style popularized by the film Metropolis, as well as the works of erotic illustrator Hajime Sorayama. You can call me a gooner, but you can't say I'm uncultured. I'm quite shocked to see such an audacious display of feminine sexuality on a mainline Transformer I bought from Target. The best we usually get is the nondescript mono boob typically found on RC figures, which is appealing in its own way. However, I do appreciate seeing a little bit of actual cheesecake for once. Now this is the part where I step in and say, could be bigger. And that's when I remember, I'm the dude from Memento, and this is John Hasbro we're talking about. The same John Hasbro who keeps releasing new Armada figures without the main gimmick of the original toy line. There's always a catch. So although Solus may have the most bodacious blingers this year, around back, her titanium tushy is completely non-existent.
Son of a bitch!
We were this close to greatness! We finally get a mainline figure with an ounce of sexy fembot goodness, and Hasbro just had to do what they do best. They half-assed it. Or no-assed it, I guess. You really can't have your cake and eat it too.
I hate Gay for me. All he does is hypersexualize female transformers.
I know I don't meet the standards for ethical gooning, but you know what? At least I'm nice. Enough of these touchy subjects, let's talk about something more important, like her feet. Solus Prime has ankle tilts, as most figures do nowadays, but these rockers are pinless friction joints, which makes me worry for their long-term durability. I already have a similar problem with those vehicle flaps I mentioned before. They easily pop off, especially when attempting to transform her. One of these flaps was actually rattling around inside the box when I bought the figure. Shouts out to the return of plastic window packaging, by the way. I might have lost the piece if it wasn't for Hasbro rolling back one of the dumbest decisions they've ever made. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. The Chuds won. Solus also has red eyes on the box, and that's
Kinda scary.
Solus Prime's articulation is decent, but her posing options feel very limited and stiff. This is exacerbated by the tiny feet making her difficult to balance. And if you guessed her big skirt would be a problem, you'd be right, despite splitting apart to accommodate her hip movement. At least she has ball-jointed wrists, which makes getting both of her hands around long, thick shafts that much easier. Yeah, I got a nice long, thick shaft for her.
Yeah!
It's part of her main accessory, the eponymous Forge of Solus Prime. What did you think I meant? The hammer is split into 3 pieces: the head, the shaft, and the pommel, which looks like a small purple fire hydrant. The hammer is inspired by its Power of the Prime appearance too, but I think I still prefer its more ostentatious design from Transformers Prime. Something about this just feels right. Solus Prime is a figure with great ideas, drawing her far beyond the comfort zone of her predecessors. She provides a blueprint of what Fembots could be. However, I do have certain reservations with this figure, and I find her execution a bit weak overall. But you know what they say? When all you have is a hammer, everything else looks like a nail. And I want to nail her with my pee-pee. Big thanks to my friend Xander for doing this video's thumbnail, and you can check out last year's Legacy Windblade review for even more unethical gooning. But anyway, that's just my opinions. Please leave yours in the comments below. Bye-bye. Welcome back to my ass. It's time for fucking... Alright. Solus Primes, Solus Dicks, Solus my ass, but these rockers are frictionless, pinless, bungholeless, fucking ass ducking... I don't even know how I did that.